Hey, Albert. I think we're just waiting on Jinshin. I see him typing in the agenda, and I know he takes a few minutes. Like his Zoom takes a few minutes to join, so we'll just wait and get started. I hope everyone's having a good Tuesday.
Yeah, going well. What about you?
Yeah, off to a good start, I would say.
Cool.
I'm gonna give Jinshin one more minute, and then we'll just jump into social discussion. I'm kind of curious on the noticeable increase in flaky test for master. That's kind of got my interest, my curiosity peaked, I'll say. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Mark was out sick yesterday. I haven't heard from him today. I would encourage everybody, if you need to like unexpectedly out sick, at least share in the team channel, or I'm not sure if he shared in Quality Weekly Stand Up. I know he direct messaged me, but please communicate broadly. No harm in doing that. So either team channel or weekly stand up, and then we can kind of signal boost from there. Social discussion. I wasn't quite sure the right way to phrase this, but if you could learn one new thing, I'm curious what it would be. Just like without taking the time to learn it. It was just like boom, you now know everything about this. Mine would actually be woodworking, which has been kind of like an off and on hobby for me, where I just like the physical, like making something, and I've only made like really small, like I've just made like really. I think the biggest thing I've made is like a coffee table a long time, like 5 years ago, and I just haven't done that. But it's been something I've always wanted to get better at, and just haven't taken the time to do it. What about you, Remy?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe so it's probably not just learning, but if I could be like an astronaut in like the next second, that would be great. But it doesn't only involve learning, because it also involves training and be selected and all of that. But yeah, that I would love to go in space, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I can learn something in 1 second, I think I would like I would like it to be exceptional. So I think going to space is a good one.
Indeed.
Yeah, what about you, Albert?
It's another tough question. It's really like the wish one. So I don't know. Like I guess some musical instrument, piano. I guess I used to play the guitar, and I had a few friends who knew how to play piano, and it seems to me that knowing how to play the piano gives someone the ability to learn other musical instruments very easily. Like it gives the foundation, it seems. So yeah, then I would want to learn that. Then from there I can move on to other instruments if I want to. Yeah. Yunshin?
At first, I thought that there's so many things I can learn, but then I remember that maybe painting or drawing, because I always want to make my own games or or not my own, but make some games. And the only thing I really miss to build everything would be some visual things, because I can program, I can design, but I cannot do any visual things. So if that can be done, then I can do everything by my own.
That's great.
Cool.
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody answering these questions. I think it's kind of helpful to get to know people from different angles, and I really appreciate it. Don't feel like you have to share. So if you know if you don't want to, and if it would be helpful, I can post questions ahead of time, so you don't just come into the meeting and then are like, oh, I don't really know, because I'm always curious what people have on these.
Yeah, and actually, I think I thought about a new thing, like kind of hacking the answer. Like if I could learn how to learn things instantly, so that I could learn anything instantly.
That's cheating. Just like I want to have infinity wishes.
Exactly.
There was no rule on this one, so that's way to go.
Cool.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, I'll jump into the announcements. This one's from Mac. So thanks to everyone who was working on pipeline stability, cost reduction, and I'll even mention review app stability, because that was also called out in this meeting. And pipeline metrics are in the best state it has been, with MR duration and pipeline stability. And Sid was really just kind of excited to see the updates. Like, you know, the quote here that Mech put in is, "We're very results driven and the best company ever." You know, he was talking about how quickly we can deliver value, when he said we're the best company ever, which is just really, really awesome. I believe the link is to the engineering key review, so feel free to give it a review if you have time. It's similar to I think it's the same link that we had last week. So kudos to everybody. I think those are really, really, really high praise. And the engineering key review is visible to all execs and engineering leaders. So awesome work.
Is the meeting recorded?
So I don't think this one is. I was looking for it ahead of time. So you just have to take my word that that's what was said. Unfortunately, that's not very transparent.
Not doubting you.
Okay, yeah, I think that sometimes there's customer names and things mentioned.
Yeah.
And that's why this one's not recorded. So, but I'll check with Mac and see if I can track it down. I wasn't able to earlier. Let me just take it to do here. The next item, I thought this was kind of interesting. Great. Zregor has shared this issue that Runner is looking at to just try to have a more efficient future focus on like how runners can auto scale. There was a video linked in that issue that I found very insightful. There was a lot of metrics in Grafana that were shown and dashboards. So if you're looking to learn more about our runner infrastructure and kind of how it may look to evolve in the future, I found the video very, very interesting. I just had it on in the background while I was listening to things, and then when there was something interesting being talked about, I kind of like brought it to the forefront. It is an hour, so it's kind of long, but I just wanted to share it to see if anyone else would get value out of that. And then the last update is Mech merged the change to switch the master pipeline success rate KPI into to use all master pipelines yesterday. And I moved the old chart to the engineering productivity pipeline dashboard. As I kind of said in the issue, I think this is more reflective of what people think this KPI is measuring, just at face value. I don't think people think of the scheduled pipelines. And I also think it kind of aligns the metric with the, like, I'll say the risk that like changes and things proposed. So by incorporating the pipeline graph, we're really looking at the distributed risk of all of our changes, and reflecting that in the KPI.
Cool.
Yeah, it does change. Like as I mentioned to Mac, it does change historical values, but it's great to see. It's great to see everything kind of looking in the best state it ever has. So if you look at the chart, the last few months, the last 4 months, it's really been the highest it's ever been in the 4-year history of the chart. Cool. Okay. Any other announcements that anyone I can note as we go on? Okay. Sure. Sorry, I'm just finishing up this to do so I don't lose sight. Let's move into the first item. I did want to say thank you to everyone again for the great collaboration on the plan for the kind of go forward way of getting better visibility into our throughput labels, specifically Backstage for this one. Remy, you summarized the proposal very well. I just kind of took it and moved it up to the description right before the meeting. I just wanted to see if there was anything else needed that we should discuss before we kind of start breaking the work into issues and executing on that first iteration. Shinshin, I know you had a question on the issue. We can always just talk about it async if you want.
I think that's pretty minor, just that
Okay.
some merge, how do we label some of the merge requests?
Okay, let's just take that one async. I'm going to take silence as no. There's nothing else needed. I just wanted to confirm. But again, I just want to reiterate. Thank you for all the collaboration. I know a lot of thought was put into all of this by all of you. And that was very evident to me. I'm very grateful that you're able to kind of come up with a really good, simple proposal. Over to you, Jinshin, for the triage report.
So we are going to add a new report for stale merge requests, and we divide the report by different groups, like the group triage report. And I really don't want to add another 5,000 lines of files, so I try to find it. In the end, I use a script to generate the policy files. So it's not ideal, but it's pretty fast to do it that way. So it generates a lot of policy files, and also I have another script to generate a new CI configuration, which put all groups into different jobs, so we don't see a job which contains for all the groups, which takes very long, and if there is one error, then an entire job break, post or failed. So I think it's nice to be done that way, and I'm wondering if we should do the same for the current group triage. And I saw Remy already comment on it. I haven't read it, but we don't need to repeat, so maybe just take this in for your information.
Yeah, I think that's a great step forward because there was no reason to duplicate, and it was just making the maintenance very hard. So yeah, my only comment was that basically you already wrote like the dynamic CI config generation. So if we want to use this feature, like this CI feature, it should just be a matter of like calling the script that generates the config instead of checking it out in Git, basically, more or less, I would say. But yeah, that can be done as a follow-up, I think.
I can try. Maybe it can be done by a few minutes. Then sure, why not?
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks quite impressive. I want to say.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was good work the way that you were able to dry it up compared to the team triage report. So that's pretty sweet.
For there's another file to extract all the group definition, and I really copy and paste all the definition for so long, like an hour or two, and it really made me feel tired. So I really don't want to repeat that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good work on that. Okay. Anything else there, Jen?
No, I think we can take on the merge request.
Great, cool. Remy, you want to talk about flaky tests?
Yeah, yeah. So, like, since yesterday, there seem to be a few new flaky tests. One was about actually the two flaky tests have kind of the same problem, which is that something is loading like lazily or asynchronously, and then it's moving up, it's moving the content page, or even like moving the content outside of the window, so that the test, when the test is asked to click somewhere, then either it's not at the same place as it was before the, for instance, the SVG loaded, or even it's outside the window. So, and Stan was great in debugging and actually fixing two issues, and I gave my kudos to him in the thanks channel this morning. So maybe just thinking out loud, like maybe we should like audit if there's other like for instance for the SVG that is lazily loaded, maybe you can like do an audit and check if there's other potentially flaky tests that we could improve like beforehand, before the cause problem. And for the other one, it was caused by the merge request widget, which loads asynchronously. And I think before it's loaded, there's probably a placeholder that takes maybe this space. And then once it's loaded, it maybe takes this space and it moves the page down. And for this one, I don't know if there's like a systemic improvement that we can make, but maybe. I haven't thought about that, but yeah. And I think generally it's probably like, I think we probably tend to put more and more things to load asynchronously, and specifically maybe in the merge widget, merge request widget, or even in the sidebar, in a lot of places actually. So I think that's why we tend to have these new flaky problems. So maybe it's a good time to maybe like take a step back and see if we can improve that globally.
I agree. I think we'll only see this more and more. Is there an issue to, like you mentioned, like an audit or something like that? Do we have an issue for anything like that already?
I don't think, but we are creating so many issues. There might be
right. Yeah. I was trying to search as you were chatting with handling lazy. I'll just say like lazy loading spec handling. I think we should get an issue and then let's discuss pacing in the issue to see what kind of solutions we can come up with, or the team can come up with, because I agree, this will only continue to be more and more of a problem based on current trends.
A quick thought is that if we have a central way to load asynchronous things, then we can have a queue or something. And when we want to load something, we put something in the queue and we just wait for the queue to be empty. So we only start testing when the queue is empty. I don't know if it works, but
so it would be like the the helper that we have now, the wait for request helper, but like more general one.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also related, there's this problem about GraphQL, which we don't wait for, and that's kind of related. I will try to find the issue since we have it. GraphQL.
Yeah, if we have so many different ways to load things asynchronously, then there are probably no good way to do it. But I'm just thinking, if we can start at a unified way to load things asynchronously.
Yeah, we should probably create an issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
find
can someone track down an issue on this or create one? If not, I can.
Yeah, I can.
I was gonna say, go ahead.
Yeah, I will try to find an issue and create one if there's no issue yet.
Yeah, the GraphQL thing, the GraphQL issue that you mentioned, that's also interesting because I know that there's there's guidance in the handbook to use GraphQL. Like, don't build an API just to do something new. Try to use GraphQL first. So
Yeah.
that's also something that we'll continue to see more and more of.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, we need to look to address that. All right. Lastly, I missed this in the announcements, but it looks like Group Spaces is moving under Access. I would say the Access group. So what is in Spaces is just kind of merged up with Access. I'll be creating a triage ops issue to see what is needed from like team triage report, labels, all of that. I think I have a general idea, but I'll be looking for input on that.
Yeah, I think we have this template in triage ops that covers a few things, but yeah, maybe there's more things.
Yeah, I know we have changes. I'm just not sure we have like a group removal. So the change template, I think, will be 90% of it. So I'll get that created, and we can collaborate on that async. Any other items to discuss? Awesome. Great, efficient team meeting. Good discussions as well. I appreciate everybody's time, and I know it's different times for all of us, so thank you for being very flexible, and I will catch you later in the week.
Yeah, have a good day, evening, everyone.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.